Hi there, Miranda Alt here with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team with your Monday market update for Monday, July 29th, 2024. Thanks so much for watching. Let's take a quick look at our McHenry County numbers for the last 7 days. We had 170 new listings, 146 under contract, 104 closed sales, 20 price changes, and 2 expireds. So this is the 5th straight week that we have had more new listings than those that have gone under contract. Clearly, we are making some headway in the inventory department. And if you look online, or you look at any of the headlines, they're all talking about inventory and how we're finally getting more inventory and that this will help ease the affordability issue here in this country. We've had a really big problem this year, all of 2024, with new buyers and buyers just in general having trouble affording that next home. With interest rates going up rapidly and then prices accelerating as well, it has made for a real pickle for buyers where they just can't afford a home for what they used to be able to. So with more inventory, that is shifting our market for sure. In the Midwest, we're not seeing the increase in inventory as they are in some of the southern states. If you listen to the reports, they've got 10 months inventory in some areas of Florida and Texas, and we are nowhere near that at this point. And we actually won't get our official numbers until the middle of August for July. But I do believe that we will see those numbers increase as we check those reports when they do come out. Currently, or I should say in June and May and in the previous months, we've had about 1.5 months inventory in McHenry County. I anticipate that we'll be closer to 2 months inventory when our August numbers finally finalize from July. So that'll be interesting to see when that comes out, but we are definitely seeing a trend here. I mean, I've been tracking these numbers for about 4 years now, and I can tell you in 4 years, we have not had 5 straight weeks of new homes, more new homes listed than those that have gone under contract. So we're definitely seeing a shift. And so we need to prepare for the shift. So if you're a seller, think about this and just know that we're not going to be in a buyer's market, because remember, a fair and balanced market is between 4 and 6 months inventory. A seller's market is under 4 months inventory, and a buyer's market is over 7 months inventory. So we are not anywhere near a buyer's market yet. We are headed in that direction. I don't know when we'll get there, but we're definitely headed in that direction. Again, not anytime soon. We're still in a seller's market, but it's going to be more competitive than it has been for quite a while. So you need to prepare for this. So if you're a seller, you're thinking about selling your home in the next few months, anytime coming up in the future, you need to be aware that as we end up with more competition and more homes on the market, you might have to be the prettiest and the best price. Price is going to become an issue again. It's going to be a little bit of a price war, not a bidding war, the opposite, where buyers are actually going to have something to choose from. And if you're not the prettiest and the best priced, we're going to have a problem. So you might have to do a few more projects than you would have had to do in the last 4 years. You might have to, become a little bit more realistic about your price. Then you might not be able to put up your home for that lofty price that you thought you were going to get, because as we get more competition, we will see some of those prices soften. Now, let me be clear. I do not think that we are going to see prices greatly decrease. That is not going to happen. And if you're a buyer, don't think that now that there's going to be more inventory that all of a sudden you're going to get a $50,000 price reduction on a home. That is not going to happen. What I do believe we will see is some softening of the prices, meaning they've been accelerating at about 8% every year around here. That might start to slow. We might start to see homes appreciate at a more normal pace of 4%. So that would be normal. We also might see market time increase a little bit. We've had an average market time of about 35 days here in McHenry County. We might start to see those numbers tick up. It's going to take a little bit longer for those homes to sell. We might see some more price reductions. We might see a little bit more of a level playing field, a little, in the coming months. Now, we also have a big news week this week with the Fed's meeting starting tomorrow. Jerome Powell will have a news conference on Wednesday. We will see what his tone is. What we anticipate is that the Feds will be hopeful about inflation, that they are heading more towards that target of 2%, and that we are making some headway there. It is continuing to progress in the direction that we want. And so we also will have some jobs numbers come out this week. Hopefully those will be reporting that there is more unemployment, because again, we can't have a bustling economy and low interest rates. Those two things do not go hand in hand. So when the stock market is struggling, when unemployment goes up, when we have, some more negative jobs or manufacturing reports, that's when we start to see interest rates come down because we know that we have a handle on inflation. So we do anticipate that those reports that come out this week will be supportive of that. We do not anticipate a rate cut with this meeting, but there's hopes that we'll get that first rate cut that we've been expecting all year, that we might get that by September 18th, which would be great news. Now, again, when the Feds cut the prime rate, that does not directly affect the interest rates. However, speculation of these things can affect the interest rates. We already see the bonds. They were doing better at the beginning of last week. They went up a little bit last Friday. You know, they're hovering right around the 7% still. We haven't seen a real change in that really significantly. If you, and another sidebar, if you're seeing quotes of 6.77% of that's what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are at right now, keep in mind, that's not the rate that you're going to get, because that does not take into account anyone making money on your mortgage. So obviously when you go to a banker and say, I'd like 6.77%, please, they're going to say, yeah, that's great, but we have to make some money on this. No one likes to work for free. So they're going to tack on a little bit there. And that's how you eventually end up at your rate of about 7%. So we're still hovering at around 7%, maybe 7 1/8. Again, all of those numbers always depend on your credit score, your debt to income ratio, and many other factors. So, but that's where rates are about. And we're hoping that they'll get down to the mid 6s where you'll actually get that rate, meaning the prime rate or the bonds rate, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, is actually around 6%, and then you'll be able to get about 6.5. That would help us have affordability be less of an issue. That would help some of those prices soften a little bit, because if we get more inventory, that will create a little bit more selection out there, and we might see some of those prices come down a little bit. Again, we won't see the prices come down. We'll see their appreciation come down. So if you're a homeowner, again, your equity is not going anywhere. I still hear some people talking about, oh, we're going to wait for the crash. The crash is coming. No, it is not. We do not have enough inventory to have a crash. That is not going to happen. Southern states are having a different experience than we are. Keep that in mind too. Real estate is always hyper local. So a lot of the news outlets are talking about national news and national numbers. Please, please, please do not listen to those numbers for the Midwest. We are a different economy here. We are not a different economy, but we are a different region, and we experience different highs and lows than they do, and we tend to not be as extreme as some of the other areas of the country. Right now, Florida and Texas have a surplus of inventory in some parts of their states. We are not experiencing that here in Montgomery County at all. So once again, we have a very strong housing market. We anticipate interest rates to come down in September, October, hopeful. And we will also be seeing more inventory as well. So this is a shifting market for sure. Make sure that if you have questions about the real estate market, that you call me or another trusted real estate professional, someone who knows what they're talking about and understands the economy. You can always call me. I'm at 815-529-0777, or email me at mirandaallteam@gmail.com.